Today I fucked up by showing my grandmom that she had been living a lie for almost 30 years. This did happen today. My grandmother is really superstitious about stuff. She doesn't eat certain kinds of food on certain days of the week and other such things. One of her main superstitions revolves around the layout of the house. She says that no one should sleep with their heads pointing north. So she keeps changing the position of my bed when I am away for work. When I come back, I reposition it my way so that I don't get sunlight on my face early morning. Today, she was repositioning the room while I was there, which annoyed me. So I took out my phone and opened the compass app to show her that I was not sleeping with my head pointing north at all. In fact, I was pointing east. I instantly realized that she has been sleeping with her bed pointing north. And she has been sleeping on that bed for around 30 years. I pointed it out to her. I thought she would take it lightly. Oh man, I was wrong. I fucked up big time. She lost herself? She started pulling out the blueprint of the house and her old compass. I am looking at her old compass right now and I can say it doesn't seem right at all. I think I will have to fix this issue today itself. She is 90 and quite hard to talk to cause her hearing isn't great. How stupid am I? Too long didn't read. I fucked up by showing my grandmother that she was sleeping with her bed pointing north, which she is strictly against cause of her superstitious beliefs. She did not take it well. Edit 1. A lot of you are asking me how she moves furniture at the age of 90. Well, she doesn't do it herself. She has a helper who is supposed to take care of her personally, but my grandmother doesn't like the idea of employing someone particularly for her, so she gives her household chores to keep her busy. Edit 2. Yes, the caregiver gets paid extra for this. We tell her not to do the chores and I assure you it's not that regular. Are you Indian by any chance? There is no doubt that he is Indian. Edit, on having widened my worldview, I now have doubts. My grandma had severe Alzheimer's. One of the last days she slept at her house, she woke me up and asked me how I slept. I think I complained a little bit too much in my sleepy state, and she left the room flustered. Fast forward not 5 minutes, and here she comes in again, asked me how I slept. I described it as sleeping next to angels on a cloud made of love. Okay, this story gets better every time I tell it. She was just elated, a rare second chance at life. Tell her magnetic north moves over time. I will actually have to do this. I am going to tell her I was reading my compass wrong. Let her have this. You crumbled her life at the end of it. What does anything even mean? Keep us updated, yo. Haha. I am feeling bad now. There isn't much of a solution other than placing her bed at an odd angle. Grandma is 90 and still moving furniture around. Good for Grandma. Facing north for all those years must have been good luck then. Today I fucked up by accidentally doing my Black History Month project on a white guy. In 5th grade, I had a Black History Month project where I had to make a presentation on a person of my choice. I looked up important African Americans and found a Wikipedia page with a list of famous black people, or so I thought. I chose Alan MacLeod Cormack, a South African American scientist, seeing that he invented the CT scan. I put my blood, sweat and tears into that project. 2 days before the project was due, I decided to put a picture of Cormack on my poster. To my confusion, all I could find was a picture of this white guy. Turns out, he was a white South African. I made the mistake of telling my teacher instead of keeping it a secret, thinking that it would be better to come clean. She let me go through with the presentation portion of the project, but I had to completely start over on my research and redo the write-up on someone actually worthy of Black History Month. Too long didn't read. I did my Black History project on a white guy and didn't realize until the day before it was due, resulting in me having to redo my work. Edit, though Cormack was born in South Africa, he became a US citizen early in his career. That's why he was on the list of African Americans. Sorry guys, but you are nailing the spam filter way too much. Thanks for keeping it as clean as you can be, my favorite community. Kid in my class did the same thing in 4th grade. Chose Martin Luther King, did report on Martin Luther. This reminds me of my freshman year Spanish 1 class. We had to create a simple PowerPoint presentation on a Spanish-speaking country. My buddy chose Brazil. I specifically remember that the first stat he threw out was Portuguese is the primary language spoken there. She was definitely Italian, or maybe some kind of Spanish. Should have just inverted the colors on the JPG. This thread is marked as small with 2,000 or fewer characters. aka Op didn't tell us his whole life story and got straight to the point. Take note, fuckers. Today I fucked up by not realizing cheese isn't supposed to hurt you. I guess this is 3 decades in the making, but I only discovered it Saturday, so it feels like a very fresh FU. This weekend I was eating a sandwich with some extra sharp Parmigiano Reggiano cheese flakes on it, and I made the comment over voice chat with my friends that it was so good but so sharp it was tearing up my mouth. I had a momentary pause before a chorus of puzzled friends chimed in at the same time to ask me to elaborate. You know, it's extra sharp. It really cuts and burns my gums and the roof of my mouth. And that's when my friends informed me that none of them have this reaction, and furthermore, no one has this reaction. I hear several keyboards going at once with people having alt-tabbed to Google around, and our best WebMD style guess is that I have an allergic reaction to some histamines common in sharp cheeses, and that I've had this reaction for 30 years, and that I always assumed everyone had it. What the hell do you mean when you call it a sharp cheese if that's not what you're talking about? I figured the mild sharp spectrum for cheeses was like the mild hot spectrum for spicy foods. I love spicy foods. I love sharp cheeses. I thought they were the same kind of thing where they were supposed to hurt you a little bit. Apparently sharp just means flavorful or tangy. Too long didn't read. I have an allergy to some cheese protein, and for 30 years I've been thinking that sharp cheese is supposed to sting. Similarly, but not quite as unique, I went years wondering why I was getting frequent stomach aches that just seemed to get worse as I got older. Turns out I'm slowly becoming intolerant to dairy, but I didn't figure that out until I drank a giant glass of milk and my boyfriend suggested that my subsequent stomach pain was due to lactose sensitivity. Felt kinda dumb after that, but my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. Lol. You are my husband. Was so proud of being the only person in his Asian family that wasn't lactose intolerant. Then one day, shortly after we got hitched, he told me to stay out of the bedroom for a while because he had the farts, you know, from when you drink a big glass of milk. No honey, I don't know. For 18 years I thought real-life rainbows were just the 2 colors, blue and yellow, because that's all I could ever see. My mother once pointed one out saying, "Wow, look at that rainbow, you can really see all the colors." Meanwhile I'm looking at it, corroborating her observation by responding with, "Yup, all 2 colors." That's when we realized the severity of my red-green deficiency. So I have an onion allergy. I found this out after all my life I felt like the onion taste would physically hurt my mouth cause it was so sharp. Until I sucked it up and ate an onion pie my roomie made for us, and my entire throat started swelling up and I got difficulties breathing. My mom had a bit of a guilty conscience after forcing me to eat onions all my childhood. Onion pie. Excuse me, I need to go Google a recipe to prank my sister with. She loves the French meat pie I make. I'll just tell her I'm making a new version. This is impressive. Similar story, my sister had always been obsessed with getting the best TV resolution possible, always getting the latest thing. At 28 she finally went to an optometrist who determined she actually has terrible vision. When I asked, she said she just thought everything was kind of blurry for everyone. Edit, 9K upvotes and an inbox that has been brutalized. Obviously need to share more silly stories about my sister. Also learned a significant portion of Reddit has bad eyesight. Deleted. After 26 years on this planet, this year I discovered that it was in fact very weird doing on average 200 to 300 farts per day, and having countless nights of awful stomach pains after having milk or eggs. I did an intolerance test, to discover I was very allergic to them both. A few weeks after cutting them from my diet my tiny little mind was blown into pieces when I realized I was averaging 3 farts a day. Mental. That's a fart once every 5 minutes.